Everybody loves a good show, and the after party is where we celebrate that show. Imagine that life is the show.
Join us, Tam and Porschia, at the after party where we'll celebrate life, the good, the bad,
and the ugly. This is where things get real, because that's life, and we're going to keep it real.
And if you want to laugh, cry, and be real, this is the show for you.
Come party with us.
Hey, Tam.
Hey, Porschia. Listen, I'm so excited to be back here for another episode at the after party.
Hey.
Hey, listen, we got a good one today. We are going to be talking about body count. Count them bodies. Does body count really matter? That's what we're talking about today. We got some special guests for you guys today. Like, I'm so excited.
Yes, it's going to be a great time.
A study asked participants to rate their willingness to date someone based on the number of previous sexual partners. A total of 2 to 3 partners was ideal, with a decline thereafter and a preference for some experience over no experience. The study found little evidence of a sexual double standard. Well, we'll see about that.
For real, okay? For real.
I feel like that's not true, but whatever. Of course, we're sipping on.
Yes, tonight we are sipping on a little whiskey sour, baby. Okay, it's a little whiskey sour. It's really delicious. And cheers, Tim.
Cheers. I'm sipping slow today.
Baby, this is good.
Delicious. And I don't even like whiskey. So there's that.
It's right up my alley.
I tend to even like it. So, guess who came to party with us?
Who here to see us, girl?
Coach Josh Smalls and his partner Tamica. I'm so excited.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. What up?
Welcome. We are so happy to have you guys with us today.
Y'all ready to party?
You ready to party?
I'm so happy that the clap is not here.
Oh, God.
I can bring the clap back. What y'all think? Should we bring the clap back? I'm gonna do it.
No.
Yeah. No round of applause?
Okay.
Oh, God.
I think that was rehearsed, and it was not.
It was not rehearsed at all. This is the foolishness.
Listen, so the subject today, can't wait to get into it. Does body count matter?
All right.
Does
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the
That's how damn that movie.
Justin.
John Hart's like, Lord have mercy.
I knew it was coming.
That's exactly how she do it, John. Every time.
When she get like 2 inches taller, she'd be like,
Oh goodness.
Jesus.
Listen, let's get right into it. We're gonna go right straight to our first point. How many sexual partners is too many? Studies show that there is no specific number that is too many, but what would be too many for you, John?
So honestly, I don't ask. Like, it's not important for me to know that, right? Because at this point, whatever happened, that was there. Like, I don't need to go back there. I did not ask her how many partners you had. And I think in conversation, you say, you had this experience, you had that experience. It could be with 50 dudes. I'll never know because I'm not going to ask that.
Right.
Yes.
because it's
Yeah.
not that important to me. That's just my personal. I don't. Yeah, I don't want to know.
What
Makes
about
sense.
you, Tamica?
Um,
What you think? What say you?
so to me, most men have been with multiples of women. So you had to take a sip to that one, right? But I feel
I
that
took a
most
gulp.
definitely by the tender age of 50 have been with
The
have been
tender
with
age.
multiple women. So we really never asked that question. And as he said, we really just stuck to experiences or, like it just comes up in conversation, different things that we've experienced with a past sexual partner or something like that. But it's just never talked about. It really wouldn't matter to me in that manner because I'm living for the now. It's just
Hello?
better if you know extra sexual partners while I'm here.
Exactly.
That
In
your
the
body
now.
count better not go up while we together.
Okay.
Exactly. I should be the only additional one. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Now,
Yeah.
unless you want to have
A
you want to
menage.
count me as multiple partners, well, then there's that.
Right.
Oh,
And that would be agreed upon.
Right.
Yes.
I'll change my name every position if you want, but better not
That's
be no.
exactly
Not
what
my
I'm thinking
name.
about.
Who you want me to be now?
Or my hair.
Call me Barry. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait a minute.
No,
Hold on.
Barry.
Call me Barry.
I don't want to be with Barry. Not that.
That don't even sound sexy.
No, it
Give
don't.
me Idris or something.
That,
Give
that,
me
that sounds like my
I don't
grandpa
know.
name or something like that.
right.
Hey, Barry.
Give me Desmond something. Come on, like get it
That's
together.
That's-
Not Barry.
What about you, Portia?
How many is too many? I really don't care. Like similar to Tamica's answer, I feel like men, as far as society, they are taught to sow their wild oats, and that is what they do. And so majority of men that I have encountered have already had multiple sex partners, and I may never know the real answer. I don't really care to know because, yeah, where we at now? As long as you clean and you focused on me, we good. Like that shouldn't be a problem. But I know the flip side of
Oh,
that.
you want to sing tonight? He was singing "Focus on Me." So
Focus on me. Okay.
yes,
You want to drop a little song, little melody? Okay.
You have the floor.
Oh,
But
me?
yeah,
No.
Oh no. No, I
Um,
don't. It's crazy because I grew up in purity culture, born and raised in church, and we're taught as little girls and young women that we cannot be out here like having the sex. And but the boys the boys aren't taught the same, and they the ones that be trying to be all up in our stuff, and we like, how we supposed to resist this? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? But whatever. So I very much so was one that was conditioned that way to believe like you can't have multiple sexual partners. And when I have shared with people that you're not my first, it's a whole problem. It's a whole problem. So it's
really.
really weird.
now?
No, not now. I'm talking about
Oh,
when I was younger. In my 20s
that's too
for
babies.
sure. Now, hell, I'd have been married and had kids, and I bet you ain't the only one. You better get over it. Like, what are we talking about?
You ain't gonna
Not
get it.
much. Not much, apparently.
Right. What about you, Tam?
I think we all pretty much are on the same page. I'm not interested in what you did before me as long as you're not doing it anymore. So, past relationships, girlfriends, flings, trysts. We went to the bathhouse. No, don't go to the bathhouse. If you went to the bathhouse, I'm probably not gonna let it
What's the bathhouse? I don't know about that one.
That's
Child.
where them boys go to the bathhouse.
That's a brothel. Is that what that is?
No, it's for uh gay men hang out at bathhouses.
Oh, we did.
Like, oh,
Whoa, wait.
I know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if they
now
go there,
getting back to the count.
Right?
right. So
That is a count that I must know. I
Huh?
don't
okay.
care how many you could have slept with 1,000 women, but when it comes to did you ever sleep with a man, I need to know that
Oh, for sure.
because
Well,
there might be potential that you might want to dibble back into that again at a later time, and I need to know that because that's not
And not only that, I mean, there's some illnesses that hide for years and years and years because as a
lay
result of
dormant.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that can be asked in a different context, right? Outside of body count,
right.
essentially.
That is a
It's
direct
more so of sexuality and
that should be, yeah.
where you are on the spectrum of sexuality, right? If you claim to be bisexual, yeah, I need to know that up front because I may not want to indulge with someone that is that on that part of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? And so
Right.
that is something that a conversation that needs to be had. Look, I'm already competing with all the titties and ass out here. I ain't got time to be competing with his ass. Listen, let me know. Let me know what it is so I can make my decision. Okay, that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
I wish I had made this drink stronger.
Not strong.
But that speaks to the point that we've talked about a lot during the lives about taking away my choice.
Yes.
So, if that's,
You say, oh shit.
I don't knock anybody that's their lifestyle and that's how they want to live,
Absolutely.
or if they tried it or whatever. But give me the opportunity to make a choice for myself.
For me.
If I might not be with that, and I might not want to be a part of that world, and so I need to know up front. Again, be honest. Just be honest, man.
Absolutely.
Be honest. But you ain't got to be honest with me about the body count. I don't need to know how many Susies came before me. I'm pretty sure there were several.
Yeah.
And that also, they was just saying that people prefer to have a partner with experience. So, I mean, did it make you better? I just want to know, did it make you better? Because I want you to be good at it.
Absolutely.
And then I might not be able to teach you what I want. I might not really know how to teach you that. And then that's going to be a problem.
Right.
I might not be the best.
Well, then we need to talk about it.
Yeah, you got to put it out there. Put it on the table.
We need to talk about it.
Literally, put it on the table.
Mm-hmm. But does that not seem odd to
We
you?
said put her on the table. Put her on the table.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I'm here. Yeah, for sure. I'm here for that. No, but I was going to ask Tam, to your point, you said that, people prefer to have experienced sexual partners. But then for guys, most time, if you tell them how many partners you've had, even if that is the experience portion of it, they don't like that. I think, John, you're the man on this panel right now. You can speak towards that. Like, what is that about? Because it's the same thing as like a job, right? I didn't went and got my degree and all this type of stuff, and I'm applying for a position, and y'all telling me I can't get the position because I don't have enough experience. But it's essentially the same thing with guys. They want you to be a freak and do all the things, but then they don't want to. They don't want you to have too many people that you've experienced it with. What is that about?
So here's where that comes into play. It only comes into play if we grew up in the same neighborhood. Because I don't want to be playing basketball with your ex.
Oh.
And then the conversation is like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, what about, or somebody that I know, and there's a conversation going on, and it sounds like, dang, you talking about my shorty? You know what I mean? Like, that's when that becomes a problem. So if you're not from the same area, and y'all don't really know the same people, then that's not really going to be an issue because who knows? You know what I'm saying? But if y'all grew up in the same hood, and you talk about, we went to the same high school and you got 7 of them in the 9th grade, nah, Because now, you know what I mean? Now this becomes an issue. Because now I got to have, I'm hanging out with these same people that, you was smiling up in their bedroom and, you know, playing footsies with. That ain't cool for me.
They smile on
Yeah.
your face all the time. They're gonna take your place.
Okay, we're all back. We're
Just
good.
don't touch nothing.
Yes.
I'm not touching anything but myself. Okay.
Okay.
So I was. Okay. Uh,
Well, this is the after party, so
And you are sipping, what is that? Whiskey?
let's sip. Cheers to that.
Whiskey sour.
Cheers.
That whiskey sour got to
Right.
get sweet some way.
Okay.
That part.
the perfect song right now would be Tweet, but of course it's not playing.
Oops, there goes my shirt. Yes, come on. Okay.
We
Anyway,
did TV time
so
out now.
we don't even really need to address point two because we all kind of agree that we would never ask body count. But when we polled our live community, some
Shout out to
people
them.
were saying that they would ask for, they may want to know, and they felt like for women, it was more important to know, not necessarily the count, but if she has any trauma attached to her past sexual encounters and how that may affect the relationship going forward.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was so much about the number as it was what type of sexual encounters she's had that may affect her negatively and the relationship.
Yeah.
No, I can definitely see that. Like, I think that's definitely something that you would even bring up in the beginning of y'all meeting or whatever, because that's going to be very important, later on when it comes time for you to take that next step.
Well,
So-
how early though? What's too early to start exposing these things? Because
Listen, it's
I don't think I'm gonna
very
be having you date two
But
about
I
my
don't know.
sexual trauma.
I think it's different for women because in a dude's mind, if we get close enough, we getting some anyway. Y'all know from the jump. It's not really it's not hard for y'all to figure out. Y'all know. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's fairly easy for y'all. Y'all can, the same day, it could be, you know what I'm saying, the first date, listen, what's up? Holla at me. Because y'all already know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that is your way of letting him know that this is a strong possibility you in. You know what I mean? But then it depends on how I take your answer.
Right. I might tell you about my stuff, and then you be gone.
Yeah.
It's a touchy. To me, that's kind of, I don't know. I guess it's iffy, and I think that causes some issues because in the beginning we tend to hold back some things that may be pertinent to the relationship, but you're always afraid to let someone in that way, and you don't know if they're going to stick around.
Right.
Yeah.
So to speak on that in our situation, on the very first date,
Y'all wasn't playing. Y'all wasn't wasting no time.
So on the very first date, Ja bared his soul to me. And
Wait, Tamica. Had y'all been speaking before the actual first date? Like on the phone?
no, not really.
Not really.
So the way that we met, it was I was at one of my friends' poetry events that she threw. She was like, we were co-workers. She was like, hey, you gotta, come on out. I have a show. Was it every Tuesday?
Friday.
Every Friday. So she said she have a show every Friday, and y'all are gonna see us turn periodically. Those are watching because we have a little 2-year-old, so we trying to keep her occupied. So she's getting a little sick
And running off.
and run it off.
Because this is the after party where life gets real.
Hello.
Absolutely.
So do
Life
what
be
you gotta
life.
do.
Life be life.
But yeah, so I was at my friend's poetry event, and he was there with his brother. And at the time, I was in a relationship. So for me, when I'm in a relationship, I kind of have on blinders, like I'm not
She
paying
wasn't giving the
attention.
boy no eye contact, none.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I have my blinders on. I'm like, listen, I'm with my dude, whatever, and I'm just focused. I'm just there for.
Wait, you was with your guy?
No, I wasn't there with him.
Oh,
The very
okay.
first time I ever
Okay,
saw
nervous.
him, I went by myself. Like she just
Okay.
invited me, and I came there, and he said he was checking me out. I had no idea because again, blinders. I'm not paying attention to anybody in the crowd or whatever. I mean, if you find, you find, but I'm just not looking for anything because I was already in a relationship. So I did come there one time with my ex-boyfriend there, and Ja likes to call him my little cousin because he looks very young. Like he has a very young face, and he was 2 years younger than me, but he was just like, I had no idea that was your man.
So he wasn't
Oh,
bothered.
yeah.
But
He
I
wasn't
never
bothered by it at all.
No,
Right.
I never said nothing
He
to
never
her
said
like
anything.
Yeah.
that.
This is the feedback he gave me later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm not
so
disrespectful.
I came there with him or whatever, and I had a good time, and then we ended up going to an event that another one of our mutual friends had. They had like a skate party, so we go to the skate party, and it's
It
Halloween.
was 80s, I think.
80s.
70s or 80s thing.
Either 70s,
80s,
no,
'cause the
80s.
afro, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 80s theme. So we all had on. No, it was 90s because you was.
I was Easy E.
Yeah, so it was the 90s. But
Okay.
anyway, we all skating around and everything, and my dude is hot. He's like, you keep looking at this guy, and he keeps staring at you, and I'm like, what is you talking about?
Yeah, all that was a lie. It was not true.
I honestly was not looking at him at all, but he's like, no, like he keeps staring at you, and every time, because he can skate his ass off, okay?
You
Like
heard it.
he's
Okay.
the
Yeah.
backwards and like he got it, okay? So I might have glanced at that, like, yo, he killing it, like 'cause he can skate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a little shortly after that, me and the guy end up breaking up. And, sometimes us women, we, make subliminal posts. So,
A little bit.
right, like you should have been good when you had her, blah, blah, blah. Those kind of little memes.
Yeah.
The little memes. So I was posting some memes, and somebody slid in the DM.
Period.
And
He said, "It's my time." Right.
Right. So somebody slid into the DM and was like, hey, when the next time you're going to be at your friend's event or whatever, I would love to see you there or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm coming this Friday. So he was like, okay, cool. Maybe after the event, we can, go get a drink or something next door. They had like it's closed now. It's a place called 121 or 221, something like that. And we, went to the event. I didn't sit with him. He was, chilling with his brother. And then after the event, we met up and went right next door to the little bar. And the bar was beautiful. It had like art all on the wall and everything. It was like, a real good vibe, we'll say. And we just sat down and we started talking, and he just let it all flow out. And he said that's the first time he's ever even did that.
Wow.
So you want to
I
speak on that?
I gave out plans, what I plan to do later on, 10 years from now. 10 years from now, right? Well, we 8 years from now, not 10 yet, but I laid it all out. I knew what I wanted from the jump. You know what I mean? And so it made it
When
easy.
you know.
Yes, I'm right.
when you know, you know.
You know.
I say all the time, Tamica, this might be the first time you're hearing it, but I say on the live all the time, the way that John speaks about you, like somebody, one day somebody is going to speak that way about me, and I am not going to settle until I get that. I want somebody to talk about me like that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let me.
Yes.
So I know we gotta get back to our question, but I'm gonna say this: what makes it easy for me to be that way is because the support is more than just verbal.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm at my lowest, when I'm going through what I'm going through, what I'm challenged with, I don't have to worry about whether that support is still there. There's still a beam sitting right there for me to lean on, and
Yes.
she know the same. You know what I'm saying? So I think when people are comfortable enough where they don't have like, if I don't sleep, it's because I just can't sleep. It's not because I'm hiding something or I'm trying to figure something out about her. We put it all on the table. When we can't speak, we don't speak, but we don't argue and cuss and scream and shout. We don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of do the adult thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when you find somebody that's willing to do the adult thing, just be adults about it and be
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'm still mad, but you know what? I'm not that mad.
Right,
When you get
right.
to that point, you find somebody like that, it makes everything easy.
Yeah.
So I perform all the time. She can't go to most of my events. She
Mm-hmm.
know chicks be trying to holler.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got no time. You think I'm gonna give up what I have here to take a
Yes,
trip and figure out what might be over there? Nah, I'm good.
grown
The
man
grass
stuff.
is not greener. Okay.
That's that 80-20.
Hello.
That's that 80-20. Well, that's a good segue to this. Do you think that it affects marriage? Do you think that the number of partners, the amount of experience, or the differences in experience affects marriage?
I think that could be a possibility if the partner is not really experienced. And if you are a person that's waiting until marriage, which is nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do, by the Bible. Um, but most of us have not waited. But I feel like if a man is more experienced and the female is not experienced, that can go either way. It's like she could either be a board or she could be someone that's willing to learn everything and he can mold her into whatever he wants her to be. But it's like it could go either way. And if it's the first option, which is she's not really that experienced at all and she's just boring, that definitely could end up affecting a marriage because either he's going to step out or it's not going to last.
Which is why I think it's not realistic when men are so hyper focused on how many partners you've had. You're hyper focused on something that really doesn't have anything to do with you. If I was safe, if I protected myself, then this should not be affecting what we're doing moving forward.
Yes.
And they're all, and not always. In the past, I've known men that's been hyper focused on the number. As I get older, I don't really find that to be as prevalent as it was long years ago. But Josh, please answer the question.
I think people who focus on that are superficial.
Mm,
It's just too much. Like that. How much is that really going to bother you?
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like every time you lay down with your woman, you be thinking about, oh, she had 17 guys before me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
If we're interacting in love, even if it's lust, the last thing I'm thinking about who was here before I was here, unless Tyrone just walked out the door.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if he's not here now, like I'm not really. Look, what am I going to do? You would drive yourself crazy trying to figure. You had 5 partners. Okay, so you learn this one from him, you learn that from him, and then when you go this way, that's what you got from. Like who got that kind of time?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That
It's like
part.
really and truly, what is that going to prove or solve for you? What is that going to do for you? I want to know. And I think if the woman is less experienced, right? If the if the man can't really teach her or lead her in what he enjoys,
Mm-hmm.
that's another problem. And it's not her fault that she don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you you want? Listen, I want steak tonight, lady, not no chicken.
I-
But she can't give you what you want because she don't know how to prepare that dish.
Right.
That's not her fault.
oh
So
wow.
you gonna be able to teach her how to do it,
That
or you
part.
need to be real with yourself and real with her and be like, hey, this is my problem. Now, that's not gonna be an easy conversation.
No.
Yeah,
And then
no.
most people stick around without having that conversation.
That
Now,
part.
I'll be honest, because I loved her early. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, we grew into love. It happened overnight, basically. So if it was things that she didn't know that I didn't like, I've already built a situation where we can talk about it. Babe, listen, I don't touch my right toe, touch the left one. Now we done talked about that already. But those are real conversations you gotta have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yes.
It's
Effective communication. Okay.
What
Don't
do you
be.
think, Portia?
Yeah. I don't feel like it. I mean, I agree with everything you guys have said. From my experience in my marriage, it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. Even when he was pursuing me, he never cared, never asked how many people I had been with, nothing like that. Even though he himself had a track record with sleeping with virgins and taking their virginity type stuff.
Wow.
Um, yeah. Anywho, so um, but no, he never asked
He's
that.
a virgin slayer.
I mean, for real,
Game of Thrones.
right?
Not Game of Thrones.
But girl,
What is going on?
you are now tainted goods, honey. Listen,
Right.
but no, he never asked me that. He never cared about that, and it was never um trying to figure out where did you learn this from or how do you know. It was never none of that. He was only focused on us in the moment, in the now, and so was I. Like I asked questions,
Mhm.
but and I think it was different again for me, even though I had partners prior to him. But now we talking about going into marriage, and I'm like, are you gonna be cool with it just being me and you? Like, because I've been cheated on before. I've been having, bad luck essentially with dudes that would say they was with me and they wasn't really with me. You know what I'm saying? So it was more so that, are you ready to put that life away? Are you going to be focused on and not trying to add more bodies to our equation? Like we said earlier, so I think it could, if you are a obsessive type person or personality and you want to think about all the things that somebody that did to your girl before you got there, then that's on you. But I wouldn't personally be with anybody like that because I don't have time. Okay.
Well, according to studies, it affects the quality of marital partners for women, but not so much for men, according to the Institute of Family Studies. So basically, what they're saying is, I'm going to get a low quality guy if I had a lot of partners. But he going to get a high quality woman if he has a lot of sex.
Oh, didn't that man used to preach and teach on that and had a great following about that type of stuff?
That man, we not going to talk about that man.
We ain't gonna say his name, but I'm just saying, it's plenty other men like that too.
It's a lot of them that
There's
make
high
men
quality
living.
and low quality and all this type of stuff in between. I think the quality of somebody is relative. I personally believe so. So again, I would not align myself or be in relationship with somebody who is focusing on that aspect of my life that was prior to them. Like, why do you care? Like, it doesn't matter. You're trying to now get in these draws. Focus on your mission, sir. That's it.
Oh,
Stay right here.
focus on the mission at
Focus on
hand.
the mission at hand. Okay.
Tunnel vision to my tunnel.
Oh. You know,
Okay. Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
If it is you, sir, y'all close your eyes. If it is you, sir,
Oh,
focus.
focus on me.
Can you focus on me?
Come on, sing, sing, John.
Oh goodness.
For real.
But I mean, it's true because I mean, why are we focused on what, like you said, high quality versus low quality? You might end up with a guy that I would never be with, but that's who you chose. So who am I to say that he's not a high value man because it's not someone that I would have chosen for me?
Right, right,
Mhm.
He
right,
just ain't my guy. He's your guy.
right.
Right.
It goes back to people need to mind their business in their home and keep their business in their home.
That part.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? I think it's way too much information about people's bedroom and other people's on their platforms and so on and so forth. Like
Yeah,
keep certain things in the house.
Certain things should
yeah,
be private.
Yep.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. So
I mean, unless you're into spectating.
Yeah,
that is a whole nother thing.
that is a whole nother thing. Don't come over here looking for nothing.
I
I
say
ain't
keep
letting
that over
nobody
there.
see nothing.
Ain't nothing over here for you to see.
Mm-mm. There's a bathroom on the first floor. You don't need to go up the stairs.
Hello?
If you need a bath, you better go use that water hose.
Woo! You better do it in the sink. You better take you a whole bath. I don't know
No,
what to tell
go
you.
and use the water hose. Get out my house.
Get out
You
there.
shouldn't have came here like that. You
Oh,
came here.
Jesus.
That's so funny because quick story time. Story time.
Story time.
With an ex that I was with, he had a female cousin that came to the house from some other event. We were having a cookout. And she's like, I need to freshen up. Well, the man had one full bathroom that was in his bedroom, in the powder room. And they had apparently discussed this on the phone before she came. And I was like, this is something you should have cleared with me because my things are up there and my toiletries and my personal business is up there. And now I don't care if it's your cousin, it's another woman in my space.
Mhm.
We should have talked about
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't want your clothes.
and I don't know her like that. Well, I don't want her little fishy tail in my
Exactly.
bathroom.
Exactly.
No.
Only one swinging in my bathroom is me.
Okay.
Unless I'm tying you up to something. Okay? Next question.
You better accept, Tamica. You better accept.
So shout out to our live community again. I'm gonna just read off a couple of their comments when we polled them. They said that no secure man is worried about your body count. And they also said they might want to know because they want to know the caliber of people that you have been with.
Okay.
If you've been running around with trash, they don't want you to come over here to the trash. That's what they did. They said that. I didn't say that. I don't. It, it
Don't
wasn't
bring me
me.
no good news. What did she say?
It wasn't me that had said it, but I don't disagree. And they also said this that mouth count.
Oh.
Mouth count.
Okay, let's go back first. Let's go back to the quality, right?
Okay.
If you don't know these people, how do you know their quality?
The person that said this in the chat was speaking directly about because they live in this area that I live in as well, and they was speaking about this area and the trash ass men that's out here, and it was basically like I don't even know if my guy is going to be in this area because he didn't knock down everything around here, and I'm saying that you was messing with this chick that I know because we all frequent the same places. Yeah, I'm probably not trying to mess with you, dude. If you come at me and I know you've been with her,
Right.
I probably don't want you.
Right.
I think that was the point she was making.
Right.
So that would go back to Ja's point in the beginning of him saying, like, if he was talking to someone that lived in his neighborhood and y'all done went to high school and them like, oh yeah, she been ran through in high school, or whatever. So you wouldn't want to be with a female that, that had those extras.
It's something you said. It's something else you said that I want to address, but I can't. I missed it.
Mouth count.
Yeah, mouth count. So let me ask you a question, and this is just Who's asking their significant other? Well, how many dudes you went down on?
I don't know who's asking
Like
that.
that's like
That's
I
so
would smack
weird.
the shit out of you if you asked me that.
That's so weird.
It's like what?
I think that
I'm
would go right
assuming
back
that if you
to
were in a
the same
relationship,
question about how many partners you've been with. It's the same thing.
yeah, because I'm assuming that if you were in a relationship and you're a grown ass man, that you did all the things.
If you didn't, there's something wrong here. Something's
Hello?
missing. Oh, no wonder
If
you got a
you
heavy body count.
enjoy,
If you ain't getting nothing, then you getting put out after the first round.
if you enjoy those things with me, I'm going to assume you enjoyed them with
With
Susie.
somebody
And
else.
I'm not asking what's her name or her address.
I don't
Or
need
his
to
name
know that.
address for that matter. 'Cause
Right.
That, yeah, that.
I agree, but again,
I've never heard of that one. Mouth count.
Yeah.
listen, they said it, and I wrote it here because I didn't forget.
She said it's not my words. Yeah.
I wrote it down
That's
because
just-
I have a short memory and I wanted to remember.
That's just too extra for me. How many dudes used to play with their balls on Thursday nights between the year of 86 and 92? Like, who asks those questions?
They say mouth is more personable than inserting yourself into somebody's whole body and secreting, mixing secretions. And I guess it's the same thing, but whatever.
Yeah, I was like, so you might as well not date this woman.
Right.
Go find you a virgin.
That part.
Or any woman for that matter, because I mean,
Why a dog? They're making
Are
a
there
whole
any
list of things now. You
Hello?
know, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
are there even any more virgins out there? Like, I don't know.
That's of age, right?
Yeah, of age.
Right. We talk about grown folk
Mm-hmm.
with like. Okay, so I always tell if a man ever was to decide he wanted to ask me that question, my answer is always the same and has been the same for the last 20 years. I had 3 children and they each have different fathers. I only been with them. And if things don't work out between you and I, you will not be counted among the number.
My baby said amen.
You can only count them 3. You can
Thank
only,
you, Far.
that's it.
I'm just like, ask your mother. Don't ask me no questions like that. Get out of here. I would be offended, especially as a woman. I would feel offended. Like, you really asking me something like that? I'm not the one for you. This date is over. Pay your tab, and I'm going. Do we need to go Dutch? Here's my money. I'm going. I'll holler.
Yeah.
I don't need no ride. I'll take a lift.
I would just feel like, for me, I would just really feel like you're not a grown up. I mean, I'm almost 50. If we really talking about how many men I've ever been with, just imagine.
Hello?
Yeah, you tell me. Just throw a pick out.
And if it bothers you, if the number you have formulated in your mind bothers you, keep it pushing. I don't know. Because I'm not going to confirm or deny. Because for real, it ain't none of your business.
Yeah. Finish your wings, drink your beer, and the night is over.
Okay.
I
might slip off to the bathroom and keep it pushing.
Oh.
If the bathroom is by the door.
Yeah. Or we'll make it by the door.
So I'm just bold. I'm just like, I'm out. Like, I just, once you push me to a certain point like that, because that's, like I said, that's just disrespectful for no reason. Yeah. And as a woman, I'm just like, you know what? It was not nice meeting you. Good night. And bounce. I couldn't be no woman, Lord. I'd be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Baby.
They be like, we ain't even gonna try to get
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
They be like, you giving something up tonight? Okay, I'm out.
You don't understand the half of what we have to deal with, Ja. You don't understand.
I've heard fellas say things that they've asked women and said to women, and I'm saying, you got away with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what if somebody asked your mother that, or your sister, or your daughter? How would you
Well,
feel?
treated your mother or your daughter the way you treated women out
That
Yeah,
part.
I'm not gonna say I never cheated, right? I'm not gonna say I've never cheated, but I was never a dog-hearted dude. Like I'm just not a, I'm not a horrible dude.
there. Hmm.
So I think it hurt worse when I've hurt somebody because it's like, damn, like why would you do me like that? That ain't even who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But a culture tells men that cheating is like a rite of passage.
Yep.
That's a real thing.
That's
You
how it
on that?
Yeah.
You're one girl. We're gonna take you out tonight. We're gonna get you. We gonna.
We gonna get you something. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You, hey man, like my homegirl cousin. Yo, look, I'm telling you, I know, and that's every day.
Every day.
That they say that to married men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm breaking the men code. Yes, I'm breaking the men code.
You sure
And
is, guy. You was out here spilling the tea.
Listen,
But that also goes to this age old tradition of the bachelor party and getting the strippers and actually not just for the performance, but for the after.
now let me tell this to you. I've been to several bachelor parties, and none of the bachelor parties I've been to would they allow the groom to have a situation like that. It was dancing and all that, and it's over. That's it. We don't do that. And I've
Right.
been so honored to be with men that were men. Because if you get ready to get
That's
married, bro,
awesome.
I'm definitely, that's not happening. I mean, dudes gonna slide off and pay to get what they want. But the groom, non-cypher's not happening. And
Right.
I've been honored to be in situations like that, and I'm really, really pleased to say I've been.
That's some stand up dudes right there.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Because, I
And
mean, that's essentially going back to what we said. You're adding to the body count while we're together. You've already committed to me. We're
Ooh.
literally about to get married possibly tomorrow. In most instances, when people have their bachelor parties, like, what are we doing for the last hurrah? Nigga, your last hurrah was before you proposed to me, before we got a relationship.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
With no rando stripper or
Right.
whatever.
Because if she's letting you get it,
She let everybody get it's for pay.
Right. So you're jeopardizing, you're not just jeopardizing the relationship, but you're jeopardizing my health.
My health.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can have
For
a
our
one
wedding
night.
night.
Right.
You
For
don't
our
even
wedding
know.
night. Make that make sense.
You
I
don't even know.
understand
You're
that.
just like, oh yeah, you
And I'm somewhere having tea and crumpets with my
To
girl.
myself, you so lucky, girl. I am.
know, right?
Having cucumber sandwiches with the crust cut off, and you over there getting your crust cut off.
I'm gonna use that same knife. We cut
Chewing
that
on some
crust off
old
with it.
residue crust.
Hello.
Not residue crust. Not residue crust.
You gonna get something cut off, all right. Keep playing.
Okay, so let me move on to point 4, which is trauma bonding. According to an excerpt from the Legion of Men YouTube channel, and some of our party goers, how many sexual partners can be linked to trauma, especially in women? Because sex for us is tied to more emotions, whereas in men, it's simply a physical act. John,
That is
we're
an
gonna
excellent
take
question.
this
That is an
first.
excellent question. I want to say this first. There are a large majority of men, including myself, who have been molested by older women. That is a sexual trauma that's not spoken.
Yeah.
And that trickles over into relationships when it's not talked about or handled correctly.
Yep.
Now, where it's different from a woman, right? Because it's usually more brutal for women than it is for the male in that instance. So I can't speak on that because, I wouldn't know how to even begin to address that. But
Yeah.
what I will say is most men don't speak about it because that's supposed to be a badge of honor.
Yep.
What it taught me was lust doesn't exist without love, and love doesn't exist without lust. So I was in love with lust because I thought lust was love. And it took me a long time to understand there was a difference between being in love with somebody and really being in lust with somebody. And I didn't talk about this a lot prior to probably about the last year or so, 2 years, something like that. I've been kind of mentioning about it, writing about it in my work. But the traumas from that have men believing more so that what I'm supposed to just be here and you're supposed to know every freaking thing that I want. And you're supposed to do everything that I want you to do. And if not, you're not worthy. And they have this attitude towards women and it's unfair to the woman because she don't know that it was a traumatic situation for you that you just happen to enjoy, not realizing what it's actually doing to you. And that's it's not you know,
Wow.
terrible.
Perfectly said, yeah. I think, because I personally know a man who had a sexual experience with an older family member, and it did trickle down into how he communicated or lack thereof. He was angry. He was aggressive, um, and he wasn't. I think he was proud, probably in the moment, but like having to admit it, especially the effect that it had on the family, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, and it really did affect him. And I don't personally have any communication with him anymore, so I don't know if he ever got counseling, if he ever worked on that, if he ever spoke it out loud to other people that it affected him negatively. Because I think a lot of people weren't thinking that it was something bad. Because, like you
Right.
said, men feel like that's like a pat on the back
Mhm.
to be able to pull this older woman. But you didn't make that decision, sir. I know you think you did,
Yeah.
but she chose you to groom in that way
Yeah.
because she was the adult in the situation.
Yep.
Yeah. It's it's
Men,
it's
get
terrible.
counseling, talk to people.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a double standard with that for men. Like you would, as he said, it's like a badge of honor. Like, yeah, I've been with a woman, I'm only 16, but she's like 25, and and it sounds all great for him with the boys, but then it's just like trickling down later on in life. It's like you don't really know how to be with a woman that is your age or something like that. Like, because I know for Ja, I believe he told me I'm like the youngest person he's ever dated. Most of the women that he's been with have been older than me,
Hmm.
or older than him.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Do you remember the case about the school teacher that was sleeping with her 12-year-old student,
Mhm.
and then she married him?
Oh wow. There's been so many stories about teachers and students,
Yeah.
and mostly it's been women that have been, the
Yeah,
culprit. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean, because men get a bad rap about being molesters, but women women been doing it in secret for so long because, as Ja pointed it out, that guys don't talk about it as if it something happened to them.
Right.
It's more of a badge of honor that you were able to pull this teacher. You 12 years old, you sleep with a teacher? Like, come on. Your friends think you're amazing.
yeah.
I was going to the store for friends that I know, they're my friends, their aunts, and coming back and they're in negligees. And I'm going to get a box of sugar, and I got to be out and jumping out of windows when the husband is on the way home. And we're talking about 11, 13, 14, 17. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you wrapped in this thing like, damn, this feel good, but I'm not realizing I'm getting lost. And so
Mhm.
the one chick that was 20, she was 28, I was 17. No, I was 16. And her dude sold drugs on the corner of my block. So his wife left early. He's coming over early. I got to leave out the crib. And I'm not no sucker. Like, I got a name around here, right? You know what I'm saying? So you put me out for this dude?
Mhm.
So now I'm outside. The dumpster over there's got a baby a crib in there, and I'm taking the bed frame from the crib, and I'm trying to bust his car windows out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I got beef with this dude,
Mm-hmm.
which
And you're
wasn't no
only a
thing,
kid.
and I'm a kid. This is a
Right.
grown 40-something-year-old man.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So we got our thing going on back and forth in the streets now, and it's like over this chick
Right.
who's a grown woman, and she's got me all messed up. Worst part about it is my uncle was tricking on her, and she wasn't giving up no goods. So he got mad when he found out I was getting the goods because I ain't had the bread like that.
Right.
And guess what? We didn't speak. Worst part about that, he stopped speaking to me. Worst part about that is he passed and we never had that conversation again. I'm a kid, yo.
Again.
You got to bring that conversation because I don't know how to bring that to you. But now look at what I got to live with on top of that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't talk about that.
In this instance, John, your situation would speak to your emotions were tied in this. It wasn't just about the physical act of it, right? Because of your emotional state and the age that you were potentially maybe, um, you got all into it. Now you got beef with multiple grown men over having a sexual encounter with someone much older than you. But that was a trauma bond, and you didn't even know that you were what was happening essentially.
Yes.
And this is a rite of passage. This is what it is with life and women and all of that. But your emotions were attached to that act. Not
Right.
just it wasn't just physical for you.
Right. And you got to remember, this is like the fourth time
Right.
because it was 3 other women before that
So you
that was way older and I was way younger.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, this is it.
Yeah, this is normal.
This is what it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be.
So do you agree with if that wasn't your situation, because those were your first sexual encounters, right? But if you had not experienced that, do you think that you could, or have you ever in your life just had sex with women with no emotions attached to it?
So after that, that's what it was for me. Because at that point, like, why would I give you this heart? Because she's just like she is. She's just like she is because she was just like the ones before her. It was all about what you wanted from me. So now what can I get? And let me get mine. You know what I mean? You get yours. I'm gonna get mine. And I'm out. And then you gotta look at it like now I'm dealing with younger women, 20s, right? You know, and in that age bracket, and it's like they don't have a clue because they're just learning. And now I'm, you know what I mean? Now I'm solely something different because now I'm the boss because you don't know. Let me show you. And then I'm causing trauma because I've been through trauma. And that's all I know is trauma. I've apologized to, when I was young. I was like, you know what? You did not know this, but I was living a whole life that I didn't even understand. So this is why I was this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's terrible. Men don't speak about it though.
Yeah.
We let it rock. We live with it. Now we married and we haven't told our wife that, yo, when I was 14, this 27-year-old chick was taking me in her bathroom at the party. And my mom's was in the room and this lady was bringing me in the back room while everybody smoking cigarettes. We downstairs in the basement. We don't talk about it. And then your woman's wondering like, damn, you kind of disconnected. What's the matter? I'm all right. I just got some stuff on my mind. Yeah, let it out, bro.
Right. Let it out. Yes. And again, that goes, this whole thing, the trauma bonding thing with the sexual trauma, it goes back to what I was saying before. Women, if we tie to our emotions because we have been conditioned that we're supposed to be with one person. We're supposed to wait to marriage. We're supposed to save ourselves, be pure, be innocent. You're not supposed to be, if you are a lady of the night, that's what you're going to be. Like, that's what it was. Even way back in the day, they had women that was working in brothels, but women that was not to be touched. You couldn't even look in their direction because they were set apart for their purity and, for them to be for marriage or whatever. But men, on the other hand, the kings and whoever, they were always sowing their wild oats. You're supposed to go out and have all the concubines and have all the women and have all the things. it's so it would be their emotions get detached from that more so because they're taught to just go out there and have the sex. You're supposed to. It's your right to do this. Women are taught opposite. You're supposed to be in love in order to give your body. And if you're not in love, you should be giving yourself to anybody.
No, you're not supposed to just be in love, but we were conditioned to be their property. So we
Yeah,
were saving ourselves not for love, but for marriage. We were giving ourselves for the right to be the wife, not for love. Because a lot of times you were marrying a man that you didn't even know.
didn't even
So there
know.
was no love.
Didn't even know.
And
You're
you got
just
to
waiting
remember,
for props.
you
Okay.
got to remember, right? And marriage is a business. That's why
Yes.
you have to get a license.
That's why you got to get a
So
license.
you can't
And,
marry.
but I feel like you need to have to renew it like all other businesses.
Exactly.
I agree. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree. You come to
You
the
check
table.
in.
This ain't working for me. Is it working for you? It ain't
Right.
working for you. All right, well, we're not gonna renew.
Right. Hello.
We gonna cancel the insurance.
Okay,
The warranty has expired. We're not extending it.
but
Listen.
because it is a business, states have made it a business for you to get out of it.
Yes.
Lawyers have made it a business for you to get out of it.
Yes.
Whereas if I decide I don't want to drive anymore, I simply don't have to renew my license.
That's it. That's it.
Which is one of the things that I like about the Quran over what every other book says about marriage and divorce. It's not for divorce, for number one, but it actually breaks down, even up to the point of death, how you split up the man's his belongings. And it's not like, no, we don't do prenups and all of that, but it's how it's split up, and the woman is taken care of. But it's not like, oh, we divorced and I'm getting half. It don't work like that. That's not Islamic law. It's one of the things that I did appreciate about it. It actually breaks that down in the Quran. It tells you how it's supposed to work. And so I know that's someplace else, but that's one of the things that I did love about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a woman should be taken care of. That's just what it is. I don't like the whole, okay, we didn't work, and it's not that you cheated, but it just didn't work out, and now I'm taking everything from you, and you $25,000 a month. I mean, because you got all this money, that doesn't make sense. Because you used to lavish lifestyle. Well, if you wanted this lavish lifestyle, we should have worked this out, and we did not. So let me pay you, what alimony needs to be. But having those numbers like that, I think is ridiculous. And I think, for the most part, not all men, but for the most part, a real man is not going to see his wife who he married, unless she did him dirty. He's not going to want to see her out here just any kind of way. Not a real man. Right. He get with his next step to say to this woman, listen, I love you. You my new wife. I married that woman. Everything she sacrificed for us, I have to make sure she's good up until a certain point. Then I got to let you free. But I should be in a position to, to help you get off in there. But
you
that's
just let her free when you
well, I mean, what I mean by set her free is, we married now, and I was married.
I'm not helping to take care of your ex-wife, man. We listen to it.
That ain't, no, and you shouldn't have to. That is not your obligation. That is not your obligation. But if we went before our Creator, I'm obligated to help that woman that I married to a certain extent. Now, she can't be coming and spend the night. We ain't doing all that. No. But she might financially might not be able to carry on her own, and I might have to help her. Don't mean I'm paying her whole rent and all that stuff because I got to take in my household. But as an obligation to the woman that you marry, I think that there's some things to talk about there. Obviously, with my wife, right? But still, I should not just be like, well, you out. It didn't work. You out. It's not like that. I don't think that's right.
Real quick. So Shaq kind of spoke about that recently, right? I don't know if y'all heard him say in somebody's interview. Basically, his ex-wife Shawnee O'Neal is now remarried, but she just recently got remarried, like the last 2 years or so. Her and Shaq been separated for years,
right?
Or divorced for years or whatever. But Shaq spoke to no matter what, because she was a good woman. He the one that messed up, he fumbled the bag, whatever, even if that's not the case for somebody. But he acknowledges that once upon a time he chose this woman.
Right.
And he chose her because of her quality and what she was and what she meant to him. And she still means the same thing to him to this day, regardless if she's remarried, regardless of whatever transpired between them, he still views her as that's my wife in a respectful manner, not like that's my property, she
Right.
belongs to me only. He's I'm happy she remarried, all of those things, but I will always take care of her. If she ever needs anything, it does not matter what my situation is, what her situation is. I'm always going to show up for her because I respect her because I chose her once upon a time. You know what I'm saying? And if you can get to that point with an ex spouse, I commend it. Like
Yeah.
I have a whole dream of how I would want when my ex husband get his person and I get my person that we can have holidays together with the children. This is for the kids. We
Mhm.
should be able to be adults and co-parent and all be involved for the sake of these children, for them to have a well-rounded village, right?
Mhm.
Right.
That's what I would love to happen. I wish him the best, and I know he wished me the best. It's no hard feelings, and if he could, I'm sure he would. But whatever. But yeah, that's the dream. But you know, most people will be so bitter and so hurt
Yeah.
and so torn down that they can't get past the
Mhm.
little silly shit to see that I once upon a time really cared about you and I chose you. Go
Mhm.
back to that thought process. But
Yeah.
you know, it's hard. People let their flesh get in the way, let their feelings and their emotions get in the way, and they be like, "Fuck you, I don't want to do it." You know,
Also, they don't have the community to do it.
that too.
That's another Islamic practice. Like the community is there for that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? When that happens, okay, listen, I understand that. Take your time and grieve. Well, then we got to get back down to business.
yeah,
We got kids in this situation. You can't come because y'all ain't. That don't work like that no more. You and that new wife don't have to be best friends. We ain't
yeah,
asking that. You and the
Absolutely.
kids don't need to be. I don't know each other because I can't go over there till Thursdays because so and so. No, it don't
yeah,
work like that.
Right.
yeah,
I got a Muslim brother right now who goes and picks up his ex-wife's husband, and they still hang out. They come
Yeah.
over to each other's house for dinner and play chess all the time. I'm talking about Sunday dinner. I'm not talking about wait for no holiday. Sunday dinners, they get
Right.
together, the family together. I
yeah,
love that.
So
yeah.
so my I've been married twice. So first time I got married very young. I was 19. And he cheated on me and then married her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And she
hard.
and I are like this. She took very good care of my daughter.
Mm.
Um, when he was working, because he owned a barbershop and he was doing all the things, he was always gone. That every other weekend when they got my daughter, she got my daughter.
Mm.
To the point that my daughter would name her by name and say, I want to go over her house. She wouldn't say, I want to go to Dad's house. She was calling for her because that's the person that was with her and taking care of her and doing for her. And it wasn't, our relationship was not good in the beginning because we both were very young. She slept with my man, like, you know. But one day, I was just like, I don't even want him no more. Like, why I'm still mad? Like,
Right.
and she's gonna be with your kid. You probably want to be nice to her because she's gonna be feeding your baby, right?
Yeah.
And so now I just was on the phone with her just the other last Saturday. She was, and when I called, she picked up the phone. She was like, "Baby mother, what you doing?" We call each other baby, but that is my baby mother because we done been raising them kids together
Right.
while he was off on holiday. He was at college.
Okay.
Okay.
And me and her was raising these children together. And her daughter is our editor. Listen,
Wow.
we are family. That is my family.
Hey,
And people have said things and done things and made slick little comments to try to cause dissension between us. Can't nothing shake us. We good. That's my family.
I love it. I love it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Tamica, what is your view
Got me
on the
grown out here.
bonding?
Say it
What
again.
did you say?
What is your view on the trauma bonding?
Well, for me, I had my own experience of, a trauma that happened to me. Won't go all into detail, but it does come into the relationship where, like, it'll just, like, certain things will just happen or trigger because, like, with us women, as you say, we're emotional creatures, and if we have like a trigger or something that brings you back to that moment, that trauma, then it can affect your relationship. So, like, with us, we have like just certain things that, I was open with John, told him, like, I don't really like, this particular thing because of what happened to me in the past. So if you could, we could do other things, but let's just,
Not that thing,
not
right?
that, not that. So, and it's like, I feel like it's very important to be honest with yourself and with your partner about that, because if you never like reveal the situation or let them know about your past trauma, especially when it comes to a sexual experience, then they're not going to know why you're closed off. They're not going to know why you're pulling back or why you're acting this way or why we can't go further and do this type of, experience, or, what's really bothering you because you're holding it inside. And it's like you have to be honest with yourself and then with your partner and just, let them know. I mean, everybody will do it on their own time.
Yeah.
So it's not something that everybody's just going to spill their entire life out in the beginning. You're going to do it on your own time. But I feel like you don't want to wait too long. Like,
Right.
because you have to give, just as we want a choice, we have to give them the choice as well. Like, can I handle the fact that she may not want to do this one thing for me? Or that maybe I can't touch her this kind of way, or I can't say this type of thing because it may trigger her. Can I deal with that? So it's like you have to be fair to your partner as well so they can know, is this something that, I can handle? Can I be able to, will I be able to stay if this affects you in that kind of manner? So it's kind of like our traumas make us who we are today. We had to move past that trauma to even be here. So I think definitely for me, it was, sharing my experience with him, telling him, everything that happened, getting it all out on the table. And it was like, he took that in and like, okay, I get you now. I see you. I understand exactly why you feel this way, what my limits are, as to how far I can go or what I can or cannot do, because the bottom line is we want to be sexually comfortable.
That's a good point.
That is so good. Sexual.
That's almost like the pin in all of this, because if we're sexually comfortable, when we are talking about everything else, then this whole conversation is null and void. We don't need to talk about body count, because now you have made me comfortable. You've made me feel free, and in this relationship, whatever I did before, whatever you did before, we only need to talk about what we're doing together, how we're building, and how we're moving forward.
Absolutely.
That was Thank you guys so much, because I feel like I learned some things. That's why I wanted y'all here, because shout out to me, I'm looking for a man.
You're looking for who?
A man, girl.
Oh, I thought you was already taken now. I don't know if you still looking.
Yeah, I was some fighting, a minute ago. Then with some claims. Okay, call me afterwards, babe. Call me.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was right. I was like, oh, oops. I think somebody has been chosen. Once I heard that, call me.
I think y'all might be right. Okay, forget what I said. I think I might have already been found.
Breaking news, okay?
Breaking news. You heard it here first. No, okay. You heard it here for further off the no.
I hope so.
They've been trying to give me away since they met me 6 months ago on TikTok.
But what's funny is then you get the people that come in with these names that come all the way from left field and get straightened right out real quick. Real quick. They were like,
Real
no,
quick.
da da da, and they get straightened out real quick. And thank you for giving James the power because he needed to have the power.
James,
Thank you so much for joining us today, John.
the only power James has.
We ain't giving James no power. James gonna be on here hashtag power to James.
Power
all
to
kinds of things.
Give James the power. Lord Jesus. Shout out to
I
James.
got the power.
Right.
And all
I
this.
got the
Okay, James.
No.
Ja,
Yeah.
why don't you tell the people about your business
Yes.
and how they can find you and all the wonderful things that you can do for them? Come on, give the people some business.
Excellent. So I'm a full-time creative writing coach and poet, which means I teach you how to write everything from short stories to poetry, love letters to your sweetheart, or I have a service that I can do it. I also have a Cameo. You can hire me through Cameo. I can send a personal video to whoever your special mate may be. I'm a 5-time author, and I've won several awards for my work. And I just opened my own nonprofit organization, Words of Magic. And I'm easily to find. You know, Google works very well. Coach Josh Smalls, very Google friendly. And yeah, you can find me wherever.
Yes. Y'all also saw Ja on our very first episode of The After Party Party.
Yes.
I mean, I said party.
Oh gosh, it's the whiskey sour.
The whiskey is kicking in.
Yeah, the whiskey is whiskeying.
The whiskey is whiskey. But no, he was on our very first episode doing what he loves to do, which is poetry. He gave us our America KKK poem on there. He's on YouTube and all of the things, and we wanted to just shine the spotlight on you on this episode to show that you actually have more than just your poetry. His lives on TikTok be lit, okay? He had me in there last Friday feeling some type of way, and I had to journal about it. But I appreciate you, my brother. It'd be a great time. He's very wise and intuitive. Even though he be on our lives acting a fool, he's not like that all the time. Okay? So, we appreciate all that you are doing for the community and everywhere. And we appreciate you for introducing us to your beautiful queen, Tamica, who is here with us today. Yes, we didn't already adopted her, so it is what it is. You stuck with us now, so it is.
Right. That's it. She don't belong to you, only you. She belongs to the community now.
Yeah, she's
Part
our
of the family.
So. We appreciate you guys for being here with us and sharing your beautiful love, because y'all touched us when we had our Zoom meeting, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. I just love it.
We got to get them on. We got to get them on.
We got to get them on. And here we are. So thank you guys for giving your time.
One of the many things that I do with my work is I make sure that I support other people where it doesn't cost them. And the reason being that is because, you know, you have to sow into people. Yeah. I know that my work is way bigger than just poetry. And I learned that later on. I didn't know that when I started initially. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I ever said this, but I have a focus to work with middle school age children. And the reason being is because I want to teach them that trauma is real and that they have to start working on it from a young age. So by the time they're old, they're not fighting from childhood traumas that they never worked through. And so you can stop having 50 and 60-year-old broken men and women who never talked about the traumas that happened in middle school. If I go in the room, and I do this all the time, and I ask people, how many of you have been through trauma in middle school that you can remember? Everybody raises their hand. And the trauma could be simple. Falling down the stairs, the first time you walk to a classroom by yourself is scary. There's so many different levels to it. We never get to talk about it, number one, so we never start working through it. So we're not dealing with it. We're covering it up with something else.
Yep.
And so part of my work, that's what you walked to. I was talking about journaling and all of that.
Yeah.
All that is a part of that. So
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Tamica, because I know that you would be being right now. But you here with us, so we appreciate. And,
Yes,
and we
I did
also
take a nap before I
and
got
God
here.
to us.
You said what?
I said I did take a nap before I came.
Yes. Come on, Nap. Look, we need those too.
Yes, we do.
Naps matter.
Naps matter.
Naps matter. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna let you guys go.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's a wrap.
Yes. Another one in the books.
Thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let us know what things you'd like to hear from us in the future. If there are any topics you'd like to discuss, etc., you can email us at tandp@theafterpartypod.com to ask all your burning questions and show topics. Be on the lookout for our subscriber-only events, and we'll be back with another episode 2 weeks from now. Yes. Wednesday, where we will be discussing whether or why people stay post-cheating.
Yes. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.